Hi guys, my name is Marie and welcome to my Kawaii World. In this video, I'm going to take you on a personal tour of Jeju Island, so let's go. Jeju Island, known for its wind, rocks, and women. It's an island off the southern tip of Korea and home to the country's tallest mountain, which is also a volcano, white sand beaches, waterfalls, green tea plantations, tangerine groves, and black pigs. Jeju is also famous for its women divers called Haenyeo, who played a leading role in the island's economy, supporting their families while their husbands took on a caregiver role and contributing to the matriarchal family structure of many families on the island. In a country considered to be linguistically homogeneous, Jeju Island stands out. The Jeju dialect drops the formal tone, which shows deference to age and authority that the rest of Korea uses. Because of its moderate climate and natural landscapes, Jeju Island is a really popular holiday destination for Koreans and Chinese. Tourists from China don't need a visa to come here, unlike mainland Korea. But it didn't become a tourist destination until the 60s and 70s after the Korean War. We came to Jeju Island for a short holiday and we were greeted by a typhoon which put a damper on our plans to hang out at the beach most of the time. Luckily, Jeju has tons of little museums and miniature amusement parks to keep you busy on those rainy days. Jeju Island was a lot bigger than we expected. There are two main cities, Jeju City to the north, and that's where the airport is, and Seogwipo to the south, and it takes about an hour to get from one city to the other. We stayed in Jeongmun, which is a resort town, and it's closer to Seogwipo. You'll need a car to get around. Public transportation isn't really extensive enough to get you from here to there, so you should rent a car or go with a tour group. If you're staying here for a few days, I'd advise you to stay in a couple of different hotels on different parts of the island to minimize driving time. Jeongmun, where we stayed, is a tourist town that has a lot of fancy hotels and attractions like Ripley's Believe It or Not and the Teddy Bear Museum and Banana Milk Cafe, but it's kind of far from some of the UNESCO World Heritage sites and natural landscapes that Jeju is famous for. We planned to go to the aquarium on the rainy day before the typhoon hit, but it was an hour and a half from our hotel, and halfway there we had to turn back because of the heavy rain. Instead, we went to Hello Kitty Island, which was much closer to our hotel, and if you guys want to watch my vlog of that place, I'll link it below. As the storm got stronger, we headed back to our hotel, and we just holed up to wait out the storm. The Hyatt in Jeongmun ended up being the perfect place for the hurricane because there's a kids' play area inside of the hotel, and I think we lost power at some point, but the hotel had a backup generator, so it was really nice, and I'll do a full review of the hotels in another video. We were on the first floor and we were afraid that our room was going to get flooded, so we packed up our suitcases the first night and we prepared to evacuate. But luckily the storm passed without much damage, and after that it was smooth sailing. So now let me take you guys on a little tour of Jeju Island. The Jeongbang waterfall is the only waterfall in Asia that falls directly into the ocean. From the parking lot, it's about a 5 to 10 minute walk to the falls, and everyone seems to go on the rocks to get a picture close to the falls, but with our two kids, we felt that it was too dangerous, so we just stayed on the paved walkway. On the way there, you can eat local seafood, and I don't know if these women are Haenyeo or not, but they were serving raw seafood down on the rocks. Also, you can get a bottle of 100% tangerine juice in one of these festive do harubang bottles, and these are basically large statues made of volcanic rock that kind of resemble a mushroom, and they're famous on Jeju Island. Sienna! Wow, Sienna's been wanting to drink this water from a coconut for the longest time.
Oh wow.
Is it sweet?
Yeah. Very coconutty.
Can I try it?
Yeah, it's like coconut milk.
Oh yeah, it's very thick.
I want to keep this coconut.
Do you want to keep it? How much is the box?
Box is 10,000 won.
How much about this one? The big box.
50,000 won.
Wow, that's expensive. Hueree Park is a random place I found on Instagram that I was really looking forward to visiting because it seemed like the ultimate Jeju experience. They had tangerine picking, horseback riding, and black pigs, and there's also this pink grass that looked like it would make for a really pretty photo. And I'm the type of person who likes to take pretty pictures of flowers, but it never turns out how you expect it to, especially with kids. I think the best part of this park was that Sienna got to ride a pony, which she really enjoyed.
the
I'll
horse?
hold this for you, okay? You want to feed a different animal? You can feed the
You wanna
goats
feed the
again.
goats? Baby goats?
잠깐만 여기 저 흰색 제이티 신생한테 줘봐. 제가 이 사진 찍고 너.
On the far end of the park, there are these tangerine groves where you can pay 5,000 won a person and eat all the tangerines that you want. And you can also take a small bag of them home. Yeah, you can put it in your bag. You can eat it too.
Cut it like that. See that? And then
I cut it.
Okay, which one do you want me to cut? You tell me. Find one that you like. That one? Okay.
Cut it.
Okay. Get ready to grab it, okay? Let me see. Oh. There. Okay, can you... Your skin hurts?
This one.
That one? That's a leaf. Got it?
it's a little bit better, but still sour.
It's too sour.
You can try it. We should peel them and try them, okay? Overall, I thought that this park was great for kids, but it ended up being a lot more expensive than we expected. I think all the activities and the entrance fees cost around 70 to 100,000 won. We went on a weekend and it was insanely crowded, so definitely go on a weekday to avoid the crowds. Over on the eastern side of Jeju Island, you'll find Seopjikoji. Seopji is the old name for the area, and Koji is Jeju dialect, meaning a sudden bump on land. In April, this area is famous for yellow canola flowers, and it was a filming site for a number of Korean dramas, so if you're a K-drama fan, you'll probably want to visit this place. It was really windy when we went, so we got to experience the Jeju wind. From here, you can have a great view of Seongsan Ilchulbong, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. You'll also see this weird gingerbread house that looks so out of place, but apparently it was the filming site for a Korean drama. At the far end of Seopjikoji, there's a Zippo museum and a cafe. Right near Seopjikoji is Jeju's aquarium, Aquaplanet. We bought our tickets in advance on the day of the hurricane and ended up not using them, but luckily we were able to use them a couple of days later. They were originally $40 per person, but we got them on this app called Klook for $25 a person, which in my opinion was still kind of expensive. But in the end, I actually regretted wasting half a day here because the aquarium was nothing special. If you've been to any of the aquariums in Seoul or the Churami Aquarium in Okinawa, you'll probably be underwhelmed by this place, so definitely skip it. Seongsan Ilchulbong is a volcanic cone which in Jeju dialect is called an orum. It was formed by a volcanic eruption in shallow seawater. Basically, the hot magma coming out of the volcano interacts with the seawater, and here it created a really steep cliff with a bowl-like shape in the center. Twice a day, Jeju's women divers will put on a performance here. They'll do a pre-diving ritual, and then they go out into the water to search for seafood. If they catch anything, you can pay to have a taste. But when I went, they didn't catch anything. They said that because of the typhoon, the water was clouded with algae, so they were not able to see anything. Oh my god. Oh. My shoe's wet. Mommy stepped in a puddle. I don't like the mountain. Well, the lesson is watch where you're stepping when you walk to see this show, because I just stepped in a big puddle of water. So we're not going to climb up this mountain. I don't think we wanted to anyway with our kids. But at least we caught the Haenyeo show. It was really interesting. We got here just in time. It's an hour hike. So we're just gonna go. Kids are already tired. Time to go to the beach. Oh, peanut ice cream?
Oh, remember we have one of those.
Yeah, I'm kind of
15 bucks.
The AmorePacific Tea Plantation is something that I wanted to visit ever since I did the virtual reality experience at the Innisfree Green Cafe in Myeongdong. AmorePacific is a Korean conglomerate that owns Osulloc, which is Korea's premier tea company, Innisfree, and a number of other Korean brands. And they have a tea plantation on Jeju Island. I must say that it was nothing like the virtual reality experience that I had, but it was interesting to see what green tea looks like in its natural state. I found the Osulloc shop to be overcrowded, and they actually had less stuff on the menu than the Osulloc shops in Seoul. So I was pretty much ready to go once I stepped in there. But then my husband suggested that we go to the Innisfree Jeju House, and I didn't really want to go, but in the end I was so glad that we did because we got this little Jeju women's diver bento basket, and I just thought it was so delicious. And then they also had this thing where you can make your own soap. All of the seats were taken by the time we were ready to make soap, so we just skipped it, but it looked really cool. You can't visit Jeju Island without going to the beaches, so I'll just give you guys a rundown of the ones that we visited. Jeongmun Beach was right by our hotel, and it was situated next to these tall cliffs. There were a lot of surfers here, and I think it's because there are some good waves in this area. It was really interesting to see Korean surfers.
Stand right here and I go.
Wow, that's crazy.
What's that?
It looks like a palm tree. What is that?
Natural sponge.
Oh, it's a natural loofah. That's so cool.
How about me? Nobody gives anything to me.
Christina, you can have this. No? Seopjikoji Beach is a white sand beach on the northern side of the island. We drove about an hour to get here, but it was so worth it. I believe that the white sand is not natural to the area, but it really makes it look pretty. The water is really shallow, and you can walk for quite a ways without hitting strong waves despite the wind. You like it?
You see there's no clap.
Wow, you're totally wrong. I want to see those crabs. Those are pretty.
You want to see the crab?
Daddy, let's go.
No, Mommy wants to see the crab.
Wow, that's crazy.
Let's be free.
Okay. And Natin and I are just having a
Snack.
Gumnong Beach is right next to Seopjikoji Beach, and it's a little bit less popular, but it's equally as beautiful. It's just a little bit more rocky. Over on the eastern side of the island, you'll find Gwangchigi Beach. It's right near Seongsan Ilchulbong, and it's a black sand beach with lots of pretty tiny seashells. It has these gigantic rocks that are covered in green moss, and it felt like the most natural of the beaches we saw in Jeju, and also the least crowded. Let me see. Wow, that's sea glass. That's so cool. Look over here. There's lots of stuff over here.
Maybe Abalone show.
Wow. Percy and I brought this for you. Hamdok Beach is rated as the best beach for kids because it has clean and shallow water and white sand. Because of where it's situated, the water is usually really calm and you can walk out far in the shallow water. We arrived on a windy day and it was about to rain, so the weather wasn't ideal, but I think this is supposed to be just as pretty as Seopjikoji Beach on a nice day. The area around Hamdok Beach is a nice little cute touristy beach town. There's a horse-drawn light-up carriage ride which my girls absolutely loved. We stayed at the Archstay, which is right on the beach, and there are also a ton of restaurants in the area. I found the most adorable gift shop next to our hotel, and I'm actually going to do a separate video on this shop for you guys. We spent a week on Jeju Island, and that's what we were able to do. But there are a lot of other things that you can do, and some of the things I considered but ended up not doing. We're going to the Manjango Cave lava tunnels, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Udo Island, which is known for producing peanuts, but the thing that held me back was that you can't bring rental cars on the island. And also hiking Mount Hala. In theory, I'd like to do this, but with a 3 and a 5-year-old, let's be honest, it's not going to happen. It's a pretty tough hike for adults, and we were not about to drag our kids up there. Overall, when you're staying at Jeju Island, I would say stick to the World Heritage sites and the natural landscapes as much as possible. There's so many little tourist attractions, but I most enjoyed the beaches, the waterfall, and Seopjikoji. And if I'm being honest, yes, I like the Hello Kitty Museum enough to make a video about it before I even edited this video. I don't think it's for everybody, but I really like Sinryeong and I wanted to visit the Hello Kitty Cafe. I was also really fascinated by the women divers because they're part of Jeju's cultural heritage that's dying off. A lot of the Haenyeo are older women, and young women tend to choose other careers, so it was really interesting to see this part of Jeju's history. My husband said that they're nothing new and you can find them in any seaside town, but I just thought they were really interesting. Now that I've seen most of the tourist sites, if I went back to Jeju Island, I think I would just relax on the beach while my kids played in the sand, and I'd hang out at cute cafes. I didn't get to go cafe hopping as much as I would have liked, but let me tell you this, Korean cafe culture is not limited to Seoul. We saw some really nice places on our Jeju trip too. I think Jeju Island is a great place to visit if you're looking to see another side of Korea beyond the metropolis that is Seoul. You can find cheap flights on Jeju Air and other discount airlines for as low as $20 each way and maybe less. The only thing is that you'll have to rent a car or go with a tour group, because I definitely don't recommend navigating the island with public transportation. I'll be doing a separate food guide on Jeju Island, so stay tuned for that. Also, I'll be uploading vlogs to my vlog channel, so make sure you head over there to check it out if you're interested.
I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!